Hey, what's up? This is DJ Thunderous. I'm here with Rob the Witch from the awesome band NecronomicoN. How's it going, Rob?
Doing good enough. Doing good?
You need some coffee?
Yeah, I always need a good coffee.
Awesome. Could you give everyone a brief history of the band, please?
It's a long story, so it need to be super brief. Well, I started the band in my home region of Saguenay. It's like 6 hour north from Montreal, Quebec. It's in the mountains. It's a really remote region, so yeah, I started the band there. It was pretty hard. There was not a lot of people who wanted to do composition, if I can say. Most people just wanted to, metal guy just wanted to play your cover like Metallica and stuff like that. So it was pretty rough. But anyway, I succeeded, if I can say, somehow to start the band. And after a little while, there was people, there was tape trading at the time, and some people told us that we need to relocate if we want to be able to do something decent, because we had a lot of potential and stuff, and we were selling a lot of our first demo. So we moved to Montreal in 1993, and after that started to work with like labels like in Spain and States, and distribution as well, so independent distribution and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Started to release real albums with and starting to play with bigger bands and stuff. And as slowly we started to do that, but it's really hard here because there's not proper musical industry. There's not real big label and we don't have a lot of we're just 38 millions in the entire country.
Wow. So
we don't have the proper, how can I say, demography for having the proper backup. It's why a lot of bands, Canadian bands. It's really hard for Canadian bands. So and after a while, this and that started to play more, tour more, and stuff like that. And the first time we realized, 30 years later,
yep.
I never really stopped. Actually, it's going to be 32 years in next April.
Wow.
So, yeah, you wanted a short story? Well, that's a short story. So I'm the only original member. I'm the only... I could say my manager is always saying is that I'm the band, so I had a little issue with that, but I started to accept it. So, that's in short that's pretty much it.
So it sounds like you guys kind of struggled in the beginning, and then you worked it out towards the end, and now you're back, and you're better than ever, right?
Yes and no, because it's always a struggle. Mm-hmm. It's always a struggle. I'm talking a lot with people, and some people say, "Why you don't do this? Why you don't do that?" So we can't do that here. It's not possible. Some stuff. There's nothing that really helps the bands here. You need to do everything by yourself. Like what we were doing, for example, Rise of the Elder One video clip. Some people have said. I noticed that some people have said that was cheap, but they don't understand that we did it by ourselves. We didn't went to a place like a studio,
right?
That do video clips and stuff like that, because in the States you can go whatever. You guys have a lot of things down there, and in Europe is the same. There's nothing like that here. We don't have the place to do CGI green screen professional stuff with After Effects and people building Hollywood style props. This we don't have that here. We don't have that. People doing video clip for bands, because people doing that here. It's like they walk in the street and they shoot about like it's regular Joe story. They talk about losing their girlfriend, boyfriend. So we have to do it by ourselves. Everything from scratch.
And that makes you more creative,
And
though,
it's like
I would
that for
think.
every band.
Yeah.
It's like that for every band here.
Wow.
So,
So do you guys have to like all work together as one band in order to get things done then? You know what I mean? You have to be more creative with what you have to do to make your sound good, to make everything the way you want it to be?
Well, actually, it's pretty much me doing everything. So.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
How did you become called Rob the Witch?
That's a story that happened around 19 when I moved when I moved in Montreal like in 93. Before that there was like some events that happened when I was still living in the north. We had I was booking concerts there and stuff like that, and at one point there was like some people from Montreal, from the industry, and they had to sleep on my couch because I didn't have the means to send them in the hotel, and it was a little bit complicated there because I was not living close to an hotel and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so first thing, there's a reason I need to explain. It's related directly or indirectly to, in a certain way, to understand that you need to understand where I come from, as in my, education, if I can say. It's because, like, I'm not Christian or Catholic or anything. I've been raised by, my mom's a yoga master.
Yep.
As a yoga master, and my father was like an artist. And when they split up, my mom remarried with like a native guy that he raised me like a son since I was like since 11. Mm-hmm. So I've been raised like in the native way. He's not the kind of native guy living on the res or anything, and stuff like that. He's really following the old ways and stuff like that. So I've been raised like in that kind of stuff. And one night there was that guy that was sleeping at my place, and I needed to do something, so he was sleeping on the couch, and I was in my room, and I was burning some sage, and if I can say, like, we'll say it, that it sounds like more metal. I was doing incantations.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's cool.
So actually, it was like a native stuff that I was doing, Mm-hmm. I don't remember the reason because it's been so long, but I was doing something that I needed to do, and the guy, I thought he was sleeping. And a couple of years, or I think it's 1 year later, I was in Montreal, and we were going to the place, meeting some friends. There was a tour passing in town, and I was invited or whatever. We went to a party, and I was with my manager from the area. Got there, and that guy was there, and he started to say, "Hey, look, it's the witch."
Oh boy! And
like making fun of me, actually.
Yeah.
So that was about that story. Then they said, "Hey, so that guy was like in the room, and he was doing like some mumbling incantation or whatever, Mm-hmm. And I remember that I was like, "What? Witch? What do you mean by that?" They said, yeah. That time you were playing your game at your place, and in the night, I was playing a game. At first I thought you were sleeping, but the story is like, I learned that guy actually thought I was totally fucked up.
Oh, wow.
But now he was drunk, and he was so he was telling that in front of everyone to try to make fun of me.
Oh.
So I was pretty upset actually at first, but my manager said it's fucking awesome actually. He said it sounds really good, and he was like, I don't want to have a nickname. That's fucking. I'm not like that. He said, you know what? It's fucking great. He said you should keep that nickname. It suits you well. So at first I was pretty reluctant, but because of that joke going around, people started to call me like that. So I decided to keep it.
There you go. And that's real cool, though, to hear your history and how that occurred. That's very interesting.
Yeah, because that's not a name that I gave myself. It just happened like that. So.
That's cool.
So it became like other. I have other like name that been called with time after that, but this one is the one that I decided to keep for myself. A lot of people these days they call me the Witch King. For obvious reasons.
Obviously.
This.
Hell yeah.
So I don't mind people calling me that because it's related to the witch name. It's still related to the witch name. I have other names that people are calling me, but for me it's it's okay, it's funny, but I'm used to witch or Witch King. It's perfectly alright with that.
I like the Witch King.
Yeah, there's more people calling me the Witch King now.
That's cool. So I do have a question from one of our listeners, one of our DJs actually, Doc Shock. He wanted to know, why did you choose NecronomicoN for the band name?
I was a big fan of Lovecraft, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously when I was younger, but I never thought about calling my band at first. We were called, actually, you're gonna laugh. We were called Cataclysm at first.
Okay.
Like Cataclysm, that's from Montreal.
Yep.
That was way before them, actually, but we're talking about 1988. When I started the band, I was calling the band Cataclysm because I thought it was a really powerful name. And there's one thing that was bugging me with the name. I thought it was a really powerful name, but I thought it was too negative.
True.
Too negative in a way, and yeah, okay, some people are gonna say Necronomicon is negative, but you'll see where I'm going with that. I wanted something more at large, because a cataclysm is like, earthquakes, volcano, all that kind of stuff. And I wanted something that it was more galactic or more cosmic, more powerful in a different way, that could be more ambivalent, that just like pure destruction and death. And I was on my way to go practice, with the first people that I was trying to start the band. And it was like a nice day and everything, and I was like, we need to change the name of the band. We need to change the name of the band. But I was like, well, I don't know what to do, Mm-hmm. And suddenly, it was like a big gust of wind, and it's a true story, I'm telling you. And everything started to be really freaking dark, and the clouds were so low, and it was dark and lightning and growling, and literally I heard the Necronomicon in my head.
Wow.
Necronomicon in my head.
That's very cool.
That's how it happened. Yeah. And I started to, I said, okay, Book of the Dead, because a lot of people think it's related to Evil Dead. Actually, the word Necronomicon is so much more. It's not an evil book, actually. It's a book that have the ultimate knowledge. That's a big difference.
Yes.
And of course, because of the Evil Dead franchise and stuff like that, people started to make it like a curse book and stuff like that. Actually, it's a dark book, but it's a dark book. It's called Dark because it's the knowledge that it's so much knowledge in there. It challenged everything that's been, that people learn, and contradict everything and proves that the entire cosmos and stuff, we're not alone and stuff like that, And it's the challenge, the weight of the challenge is so heavy that you can go crazy.
Well, I think your band name really fits you guys too, in your music and everything. I think it's perfect.
Yeah. So it's more large than just like, it's not a thing about the evil book. It's in that sense that I decided to take that name.
That's very cool. So you were speaking of, you're the only current member that has been here through the whole ride. Who are the rest of the members currently of the band?
Actually, currently we're changing member.
Okay.
So I can't reveal who the guys are.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some people from bands. What happened? It's actually on the last tour. We had a really big accident.
Ooh.
And our drummer decided to not go on the road anymore. So.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Wow.
Pretty big accident. So he decided after that, when we came back, he decided to not tour anymore. So actually, you're the first people the first media that know about it.
Wow, I'm just happy that no one got very hurt. Hopefully they didn't.
No one. We had actually for a couple of years we have a session bass player.
Mm-hmm.
We were working with session bass player for various reasons, and he's okay. Everyone is okay. Everyone's okay. So there was basically this last year. There was just me and Divider in the band, but Divider decided to take care of himself and just like go with his. You have a little band here that's doing like some show, but not real big run on anything, and I think he's gonna be really happy with that. It's okay. It's his own project and stuff. I wish him like all the best.
Oh, but, yeah, because he's a good he's an excellent drummer.
Yeah, he's an excellent drummer. I can tell you that we already have a replacement.
Very cool.
It wasn't really long. Of course, some people would audition, they're welcome, but we have 3 person right now that can fit the bill. We haven't, and me and the management haven't taken this official decision. Mm-hmm. But which if ever anyone wanna audition, they're welcome.
If I played the drums, I sure would. I don't know how good I would do, though. I don't think you would. I would be able to play any of your tracks. So, you were just speaking of your tour, and we're going to discuss this after. Actually, we're going to cut it here, and I picked out a favorite track of mine off the new album, and then after we talk about the tour, we'll talk about the new album, but I really need to hear this track right now. Here's Singularis Dominus. Crank it up.
Worse than war.
All right. After listening to the whole album, that one really, really caught my ears. I love that. Can you tell us about that track? And
Well, I got it from my head.
obviously, you're the one who writes the lyrics, then. All right. That's you said.
I'm writing.
You said you do everything.
Yeah, I'm writing everything. Yeah, I'm writing the lyrics. I'm writing the drum, the bass, the guitar, the orchestral, all the entire orchestra. I write everything. That's why. Yeah, it's why I was saying a little bit earlier. I have a little bit of difficulty with I had a lot of difficulty accepting that the band was pretty much just me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I started the band, I wanted to. I was like everyone, you know. I wanted to like most people, I should say. I wanted to have a band. Everyone like cooperate and everything, and there was always something happening. You know, to say, hey, let's write 2 songs each for next week, or 2 weeks, and you come back to practice room, and you're the only one who has music.
Yeah.
And the guys, I didn't have time. My girlfriend, like my cat, you know, was parking double. I have something in the stove, you know, stuff like that. So slowly but surely, it became the fact that I was like the only guy in the band that was my band. A little bit like Chuck from Death, you know. But I do more than him because at least, you know, when he had like drummers like Gene Ogden. Gene Ogden was writing his own shit.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm writing the drums also. So yeah, Singular Res Dominus is pretty much like it could sound like a little bit like an anti-Christian song actually, but it depends of where you stand in your personal life. Then it could be like. It's a many level. It could be personal level, it can be spiritual level. Of course, when I'm writing my lyrics, I always take the time to be sure that the words are really important for me, even if it sounds really like maybe super simple for some people, because I've been told that I was writing with really simple words. Yes, because I want people to understand. Some bands go with like terms of like, you know, like cabal or stuff like that most people don't understand. And me, I take that like they just want to show off. You know, knowledge is one thing. The more you spread it, the less you have.
That is true.
It's like it's like jam. You know. It's like, you know, you put your toast and you put some jam on it, you know. Well, the more you spread, the less you have. So it's important that people understand what we're saying, you know, when we have something to say. So my words are chosen that the way I write my lyrics, it's that it can mean 1 or 2 or 3 things depending of where you stand in your life.
Or your mindset of when you're listening as well, too. That's a big factor.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's how I see and how I write my lyrics. So for me, I got people coming to me and say, oh, you say that, it means this, and I'm like, oh, fine, great. And another one say me another thing, blah, 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 and it's, oh, fine, great.
Yeah.
Because it's how I see it. It's like people understand to the level of understanding they are and at the level of understanding they are at their life at the moment where they read this.
That's cool to know.
So Singular Res Dominus, it says it means your own master.
That's what I was thinking, actually. I'm not even just agreeing with you to agree, but that's, you know, when I listened to it, it just intrigued me. And it means one, right?
It means singular. It's dominus. It could be interpreted as master, but it means your own master.
Okay.
To be in control of your life. By you know, it's reattach itself to the concept of unus.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Now you were just on tour with Suffocation and Belphegor, which are killer bands as well. How was the tour? And obviously, I know you said you had things that have occurred, but when you were playing live and playing with these bands and seeing all the fans, how was that tour for you guys, and how was it different from any other?
Well, it was a fantastic tour. I mean, literally. Until the accident, of course. That was pretty intense, pretty life-threatening. I mean, I don't want to stretch too much on the accident,
right.
but because it was pretty intense, and the consequences of what happened, and we lost a lot of money, and we lost many days unable to do anything and stuff like that.
Wow.
And, after the investigation by the insurance company, they were saying we should be dead. They don't understand why we were alive. You have to understand we hit a buck, a big male deer with the antlers and all that shit, at 90 miles per hour.
Wow.
Full blow, so full strength there, and we're totally we've been told more than once we're supposed to be all dead, so that it's kind of like really they don't understand why we don't have a scratch.
Wow.
But beside that, the tour was really fantastic. The reception for the album has been, already the two previous albums, Rise of the Elder One and Advent of the Human God, were doing really good in the States. I don't know how. I mean, of course, albums are not selling, like it was back in the days, pretty conscious about it. But so far, the reaction is really, really, really outstanding. It's a feeling to go there and you feel you're the same level than the other guys, And I was feeling it before, but I feel it more than ever, actually. And the thing that it's just like some people say, why the band is not, bigger than or this or that, and I'm like, and I come back always to the same answer that as a Canadian band, we have difficulty to put ourselves with the proper team to work, promo people. We don't have access to anything, so it's so hard. But the reaction is really phenomenal, and we've been asked by these bands to go on that tour.
That's cool.
Them, they have. Yeah, it's Terrence and Suffocation has been my friend for like almost 20 years. And he was coming, playing here, and I was always around, and we were always like, joking about the fact that we never played together.
And now
we've been always joking about it, and what happened is there was that tour. And the agency, their management wanted to have another band, and Belphegor wanted to have like a dark band, a band that was like dark band, and they are on the same touring agency than us. So they literally like said, well, we want Necronomicon because that's pretty much one of the only band in America like in that style that have like,
oh yeah,
there's other bands, but like. That have like we have like label and stuff, and we've been around for a while, and we have a fan base. So
right, but still, and you guys sound good, so they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so that's how it happened. It's simple. We receive there's like Terrence like from Suffocation. So hey, Witch, you want to be on that tour? And I was like, what? He said, yeah, my manager is gonna contact your agent, blah 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 blah. Like, and after that We've been told like, Belphegor wants you on that tour, and I say, let's go for sure. Actually, we're supposed to be in Europe with them right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the second wing of the tour was Europe. Was Europe, and what happened because of the accident and stuff like that, and that our drummer leaving. Well, here we go. So we're not doing it. We have 8 replacing us, and that's the story.
Well, at least you have, your album that's being, out there, and everyone can check out your album. I know it's on vinyl. That's real cool. I bet you it sounds way different on vinyl. We're big fans of vinyl here, so it's amazing.
It's actually I haven't listened to it on vinyl.
Oh, well, why don't you pick up a copy? Now, I know that Logan Mader from Machine Head, Once Human, and several other bands, he mixed and mastered your album, the new album, Eunice. Now, what was the process you guys had to go through as a band to get that album released?
Actually, everything's been recorded at Silverwing Studio. That it's a studio that I was doing only the orchestral part for Advent of the Human God. It's a studio that was specialized in the music for video games and movies.
Cool.
So they're used to work for orchestral and stuff like that, because I wanted to work with people that know what they're doing in that in that branch. The thing that happened, they were doing so good, and they started to do some bands, and they relocated. They have like a real studio, super well equipped and stuff like that. So I said, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna record the entire album here now. So what we did, and I really recommend, like, for people that come, in the area of Montreal, if they want to record, like, with people that know what they're doing, and they work he worked super fast, the guy there, actually. It's pretty impressive. I really highly recommend Silverwing Studio. And actually, there's one of my friend in Germany that, mixed his album there, too, because of that.
Awesome.
But anyway, that's another story. So what happened, so during the process, I wanted to do something that different, that I did previously. The two previous albums were mixed by GF Dashnet from Cataclysm at GFD Studio in Dallas.
Cool.
Not that I don't like his work. It's far, 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 far from that. It's just I wanted to have a different output. A different, how can I say? It's exactly...
You wanted a different sound.
Yeah, but, like, for example, it's like the album cover. The previous album cover was like really colorful, really it was a painting, it was like blah blah, really big scale, poof, And now I wanted to go to the opposite. I wanted to go to the opposite, like super basic, well done, not too much color, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So for the production, I wanted something. I said, well, I want to go to a different way to do it, a more modern way, because we used to do our album really vintage way, recording a certain way, this, mix this, less editing as possible, and that was it. This time we did, for the recording, we did exactly the same thing, but for the mix I wanted to go with what they call reamping and all that stuff, that modern technique, and some people were telling me this guy, and once in a while, I was in a car or, going to a place, have a beer with some people, and it was like, hey, what's that? Who did, that sounds good. Oh, it's Logan Matter who did it. I was like, oh, okay. And another time, hey, wow, what's that? Oh, that's Septic Flesh. Oh, wow, who did it? Logan Matter.
Yep.
And every time it was Logan names. Gojira, who mixed it? Logan Matter. So I was like, wow, it's always the same name that come back. So I said, fuck, I need to get hold of him. So I learned that one of my friends in Montreal, she knew him personally. So I was like, can you give me, help me to contact him? He said, yeah, sure, blah blah blah. So I finally get hold of him, and we just, there was no texting or whatever. At first, yes, but he just said like, I'm really busy, blah blah blah. So call me, it's gonna be faster. Oh yeah, okay. Started to talk with him. I said, look, I'm gonna send you like the pre-production of and if you're interested, this is the band, And I understand that Logan, is a really busy man.
Oh, he is.
He's a really busy man, and he's not working with. He literally, like he told me, he said, "I don't need to do that anymore. So I choose my projects."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I choose my project because I choose what I put my name on."
Wow, that's cool.
And he wrote back. He said, "I'm really interested. I want to do it." So I said, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Wow, okay."
Mm-hmm.
Put that in the hand of management. Management like fix the numbers and blah blah. So that's it. So you flew to Vegas to meet him. Spent like 5 days there, 5, 6, I don't remember. And I was sitting there, and we mixed the album together.
That's very cool.
And mix and mastering, and we became like pretty good friend actually. Pretty good friends. Surprisingly, it doesn't happen always like that when you meet some people.
Mm-hmm.
You're going for the business side, and that's it. And with Logan, we connected. We became friends. He told me, he said, "This year I'm mixing only 3 albums, and your album is one of them." So,
oh yeah, that's cool.
That was pretty touching, and at the end, that was even more touching. He said, "Well, if you want to work with me again for the next album, the next album," I said, "I'm up for it."
Oh, so that makes you want to write more and more and more, I'm sure.
So already I'm so satisfied with the results. So it's probably going to be him again for the album and the next album in 2 years.
All right, that's killer.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break here and actually listen to another track off the new album. Here's From Ashes into Flesh.
Destiny of power.
All right, that was from Ashes into Flesh. You want to let everyone know about that track, please?
That track, yeah. That track is it's pretty intense. I wanted to keep a little bit the same vibe, the same entrance than Advent of Human God, when we have like the orchestral starting, but it's the orchestral is starting slow and building up, and it's like an intro by itself. Like you can skip it. You don't want to hear that and go directly to the song, Advent of the Human God. I wanted to keep the idea that we were there and we evolved to a step further, So there's no long intro of like 1 minute, or it's the intro, if I can say so. It's literally part of the song, and it's already at its peak, already like at the same tempo than the song, instead of building up. So it starts right in your face, and when the song starts, everything is blasting. The orchestral, the band is already blasting, the vocals start right away.
Yep.
Everything at one blast, and it's a pretty intense song, and actually it's a little bit demanding live, because we play it live. We're opening the tour with it. For me, because it's like usually I like to start banging, and after I start to sing. With this song, I can't. I just like the intro start, I'm going in front of my microphone and I start right away. So
there you go.
I like to bang a little bit, but before starting to. So it's kind of, I like to play it, but I'm so used for so many years I start to do my banging and after singing. So it's kind of awkward. That's like, oh my god, I can't do shit. I just need to go right at my mic and start my vocal. Oh well. It's kind of a funny vibe for me. So it's the first time that it happened to me that I have to start singing right away. So, but yeah, that song it's pretty in the same concept of the concept of Necro. The lyrics, like I said, it's pretty empowering lyrics that you can be understood like 2 or 3 level of understanding depending on where you're standing in life. Yeah.
Very cool.
I think that the title says a lot personally. From ashes into flesh, and it's not like from the flesh to ashes, or from fish to dust, or
yep.
It's the reverse.
And it's exactly that. It's understandable, that's for sure. Who are some of your biggest influences? That's another question I have from one of our listeners. Joe CP is asking that.
Well, I'm gonna sound really redundant here.
That's okay.
I'm gonna sound really redundant, but my early influences. When I started, I wanted to do music. It was Kiss actually. Of course, I since I'm a French speaker, my mother tongue is French. I didn't understand the lyric, how cheesy and they were. Of course, but it's the showmanship, the intensity that really, really interested me. And it was pretty that I started at that time. This was in the 70s. Destroyer album came out, and the album cover is quite badass actually. When they're like rocking out on top of like the rumbles and you see city burnings and shit. I thought it was pretty badass, and the album was starting with Detroit Rock City, and one of their best songs ever. That was at the beginning. That's what started me like really to say, okay, I want to do that shit.
So what instrument were you into then, or did you sing, or were you trying to do everything?
No, I was too young. I was a kid, literally, but I just wanted to do music. I didn't know what I wanted to play. I knew I would sing, though. I totally knew I would sing. But what time, time started to pass, and I started to discover, I was pretty into like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and stuff like that. But that didn't influence me directly. When the real influence for Necro started, when I started to listen about bands that were more into what I wanted. Always wanted to do dark stuff. So it's literally Venom.
Venom. Yep.
Venom, Celtic Frost a lot, the Bathory. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the three bands that brought me the idea of Necronomicon, and specifically more than anything else, Celtic Frost is pretty dominant. That was the idea of like when they released Megatherian album,
yep.
They had like orchestral parts, and that totally caught me 100%. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do like music with orchestrals and shit.
It is. It's badass. So, it's real cool.
So it's why on our previous album, Advent on Human God, we did a little cover of Innocent and Wrath. That was just an intro with the band, no vocal, and just like orchestral, and we did it as a cover. It's one of the reasons.
That's very cool. Now, you've had a lot going on this year. You were on tour. You had a lot of good things happen, and you also signed with Season of the Mist, which is excellent. And how is that going to help the band out in the coming time?
Actually, we were in Season of Mist since 2011.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you just recently signed with them for some reason.
No, we released 3 albums with them, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, big shout out to Season of the Mist and to NecronomicoN.
Yeah, Season of Mist, we signed with Season of Mist a while ago. Actually, our contract is pretty done now.
Oh.
So, yeah. Well, we were signed for 3 albums, and the third, we just released the third one now. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Very cool. So what's your favorite track on the new album, if you could choose one?
Oh, that's really hard for me. It's or the first one or the last one. Ashes or Vox Draconis.
Okay.
It's but I love the Throne of Bator also. Mm-hmm. For different reasons. It's a really doom and ambient songs. That's one of the things I like to do a lot, vary it, not always being... it's funny because we have some critics of people, magazines, they don't like the fact that our songs are not, are different, or too opposite. And we have other people that realize, I say, wow, the album is really varied, You skip to another song and it doesn't sound like the song previously. Well, it looks like some people don't like that. They want to have something more linear. Well, too bad for them. Because,
Tell them to listen to it more, they'll like it.
But anyway, we just received critics again just yesterday. We have a perfect score. 10 on 10. Mm-hmm. And with that album, we received a lot of perfect score, 10 on 10 or 9 on 10. And what do you want me to say? We can't please everyone. But no. I think Throne of Bahator, if you take Throne of Bahator, for example, we take from Ashes, the opening track, we put Throne of Bahator and we put Vox Draconis, the closing track. And the 3 songs are totally different. And it's really important for me to have that kind of to go with how I feel the songs and not push it to say, no, I want something more brutal because we're brutal then or whatever. It's not the way I see it.
Well, you have to do it your way, and if they don't understand the band, then they should listen to it more.
Yeah, they do. Or they can go listen to something else if they don't like it.
All right, well, we're going to continue listening, and we're going to listen to your favorite track here. Here's Vox Draconis. Crank it up. I hope I said that track correctly. Could you say the name of the track for me?
Vox Draconis.
Draconis. I said Draconis. I apologize. That's another killer track, though, I have to say.
Yeah, it's pretty. It sounds a little bit more like thrash metal, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It just that song, that track just came like that. It's, sometimes it's maybe the Judas Priest influence or whatever.
Well, I'm going to go off track here. I'm sorry. That track was excellent. I did have another question from the chat room, actually, from Doc Shock again, our other DJ. He wants to know, even though you're, in a band and whatever, what's your favorite movie?
Wow, that's a hard one. My favorite movie. Oh, that's really hard. I don't watch movies very much.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know if something would come to your mind out there,
Oh, but I watch a lot of animes.
Well, he would like that too, because he does.
Animes from Japan.
Yep.
And usually I watch funny stuff.
Well,
I like funny stuff a lot.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite comedy?
I have difficulty with all that because I have if I go to movies, I would say one of my favorite movies probably The Seven Samurais. That's
a cool movie.
From Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on a lot of things. I'm I'm pretty. It's hard. It always goes well with how I feel. So, and animes, I always pretty much just watch funny stuff. And the best era for animes is the 90s. Animes are different these days, except for what the American version they did, like on Netflix about Castlevania. That's pretty pure genius. Mm-hmm. It's really awesome, and there's a third season coming. Now these days, when I'm watching animes, I'm watching like stuff on the edit. I started a series that I never watched. It's called Louis the Ruined Soldier. And I'm watching like the Slayers. That's like kind of like Dungeon and Dragon parody. Yep. I'm watching stuff like that. That's just like funny, stupid like stuff. I like to laugh. That's good. I like to laugh. There's too much serious stuff and business in my life.
That is true.
So I like. But beside that, even when I watch movie, I'm going to watch. Godzilla, stuff like that.
We just watched the newest Godzilla. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, King of Monsters. I went to see it in cinema, in the theater. Cool. I like that kind of stuff. I don't like horror movie very much. I'm not really a big fan of that.
No.
Action, pow, gun. Nah. That's pretty American.
So what's it like to be NecronomicoN when you're live on stage?
Oh, we're there to do a job and we do it. That's how I see it.
Okay.
I'm just there to rock. I go on tours to play music. It's my life. I've been doing that like for so long. I'm almost 50 now. I'm gonna be 50 soon, and I was 17.
Wow. So you've traveled far places, I bet.
Yeah, not as much as I would like, but yeah. We have a new management now, and things are going a different way and a better way.
That's good.
Management understand and dedicate themselves to the band. They understand where the band comes from, and they don't put themselves like just like we're a number, because there's a problem with management these years. These days, it's like back in the days, management, there were one manager taking care of a band, and that's it. They were not taking care of like 20 bands. Now that they have a roster, and you're just a number on the list. And it's why I didn't want it to work with management for 10 years, and I was taking care of the business by myself. The problem with that, it's super demanding. So, you start to over-exhaust, you start to be over-exhausted, you do too much, you forget to do stuff, and you have, like, issues coming with that, burnout, depression, and shit like that,
And you don't want that.
So, unfortunately, I'm suffering from depression because of that. There was too much stuff, and some stuff was neglected, not because I was neglecting it, just because I didn't remember to do some stuff, and you forget this, and you forget that, and that get mixed with another thing. So now we have a proper management taking care of, like, doing all that stuff. So it gave me, like, time to just do my, just rock and roll, because that's what I do, I go on the road, it's to play music. I don't do that for fame or money or anything. It's just I want to going there to rock and roll,
Oh, well, you better keep rocking and rolling, because you do a good job.
Thank you.
So, I know you probably don't have any shows planned for this upcoming year yet, but people can look out and you'll probably be getting some planned.
Yeah, well, we have since the European tour is a bit, we had to cancel. We actually have like 20-something shows coming that are not announced. We have a Canadian tour actually coming.
That's good.
It's in planning. I can't say much more than that, and we have like 2 or 3 festivals also that have been asking us to go.
Cool.
It's all stuff that's in planning right now. I don't know when it's going to be announced. And we have tour dates also that have been offered for other countries, far away countries. We're watching. We're looking at all that. That's probably going to be more at the end of the year. But we're probably going to go back later this year also in the States because there's a lot of demand.
Yeah, you were close to us, actually, and we weren't able to make the show when you were in Clifton Park, New York.
Oh, Clifton Park, yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good show.
Mike wasn't doing too well so he was in the hospital, so we weren't able to make it because we were going to come to the show, actually. We planned on it, and unfortunately we weren't able to make it. So at least you're here and speaking with us now, and I want to thank you for that.
Oh, thanks to you.
All right. Where could everyone find your new album and purchase it and find out about the upcoming shows when you can discuss them?
Well, of course, as usual, you can go on Facebook. It's NecronomicoN Metal on Facebook. You can, you see what's happening a little bit with the band. Tour dates are going to be posted there. There's a little button also to buy the merch because, when you buy the merch, you support the band. And contrary to a lot of people, Necronomicon don't depend on the record label for the merch. So we're working directly with a distributor, Canadian distributor, that sell worldwide. So they're taking care of our merch. They take a minimum cut, and we have the biggest cut.
Cool.
That's the difference between us and most bands. Also, for the music, you need to go on to Season of Mist record to buy our album. And and also people can see. That's a little problem with our latest video clip that have barely any views because it's been blocked in many countries. It's the sound, the Thousand Mask from the album Unus. The video clip has totally under the radar because there's a mature, it needs to be 18 years old and more to be able to see it, and so you need to be able to prove that you're 18 years old. Jeez. And it's a Thousand Mask official. Yeah, that's crazy. That's the thing I don't understand about US, but anyway.
I think it's more YouTube than it is.
Yeah, YouTube is managed by the states.
Yeah,
actually, so you can see a pair of boobs, but you can see people shooting at each other.
Yep.
Never understood that.
Exactly. I know, it's crazy.
It's maybe my French heritage, but anyway.
No, I totally agree.
So, yeah.
All right, can you do a shout-out for the radio station, please?
This is Rob the Witch from Necronomicon. You're listening to Thunderhead Show on Metal Devastation Radio, where metal reigns supreme.
Super.